Hey everybody, welcome back to Vegas Tips and Tricks for a Saturday, March 7th, 2020. Today we've got a hard-hitting show. No need to watch 60 minutes because you're in touch with Vegas Tips and Tricks today. Before we get started, just a few housekeeping details. Okay, well I hope everybody who has recovered from the live stream on Wednesday night, I think at peak we had about 35 people there for an hour and a half of mostly frivolity and nonsense, the kind of thing you've come to expect from this program. So thanks to all who showed up. Thanks to anybody who might have actually watched it on replay. I couldn't bring myself to do it, but great to have so much support, and we had a good time. We'll planning to do another one April Fool's Day, which will somehow seems extremely appropriate. Did make a few announcements in the show that I want to rehash today in case you missed it. First off, did finalize my hotel for the trip in April/May. April 28th, 29th, I'll be downtown at Main Street Station. So if you're going to be anywhere in the area those days, keep an eye open for me. Say hello. Maybe we can have a drink. And then the 30th, as well as May 1st and 2nd, I'll be staying at the Luxor. I have only, in all of my trips to Las Vegas, stayed on the south end of the Strip 2 nights. I'm going to be 3 nights at the Luxor, looking forward to exploring some places that I don't typically spend a lot of time. Also hoping to kind of have a little bit more of a connection to M-Life this year. So we'll see how that goes, but looking forward to it. On the 30th, we will be having an official Vegas Tips and Tricks meetup that will feature not just me, but other famous, infamous Vegas vloggers, including, we can announce, Dave and Michelle from We Work to Visit Vegas will be attending. So if you'd like to stop in for a few hours, we're going to be at Ellis Island in the new front porch, sort of sports bar, kind of beer garden. So definitely come check us out. Be there from 7 until at least 9 o'clock, and should be a good time, and hope to see some of you there. Did want to also announce that we do have one piece of Vegas Tips and Tricks merchandise that's now available for sale. I'll put a link below to our Vegas Tips and Tricks coffee mug if you'd like to be one of the lucky few that get to possess this fabulous piece of ceramic joy. Have a click through. It's a great way to support the channel and show off you're a big fan of Las Vegas. In addition, to the regular Vegas Tips and Tricks logo, we are going to have a couple of additional designs that are going to celebrate our Cocktail of the Week segment, including one that just says Cocktail of the Week and another one that says PJ's Cocktails. And the reason for that is that our mixologist, PJ, is starting a new YouTube channel where he is going to do even more cocktails. So you'll want to check that out. Also, I'll put a link to that channel in the show notes below, so definitely do that. A reminder, in a couple of weeks we will have a guest mixologist, name to be released later, who's going to be doing our Cocktail of the Week. And if you would like to join, we're looking for an April guest mixologist. So definitely get in touch with me. I'll put the email address again at the bottom of the screen, jrswift@vegastipstricks.com, or hit me up on Facebook Messenger in the comments, and we'll see if you could be also a guest here on the show, mixing up your own favorite cocktail concoction. And of course that brings us to our Cocktail of the Week, and it's a serious topics we're going to discuss here today, so you're going to definitely need a stiff drink, and for someone that can make you one, here's our friend PJ.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another episode of Cocktail of the Week with your host and not a professional bartender, PJ.
Hey, John, thanks for another fabulous introduction. Well, hey, everybody, how's everybody doing today? Welcome to another episode of Cocktail of the Week. And today we are making one of my favorite drinks, a Long Island iced tea. Now, I want to do a quick shout out to the Vegas Club and Ben Heath. He has a cocktail of the day when he is in Las Vegas. But we're doing a cocktail of the week. I haven't done any of the cocktails that he has sampled, but maybe that's in the future. But for now, we're gonna sport our Vegas Club shirt and get along we're going to get it on with a Long Island iced tea. Hey, everybody, we'll be right back for another fabulous drink. Stay tuned. Or make a drink with me, if you can. I don't know. No, I'm going to be one step ahead of you, aren't I? All right, here we go. Alrighty, everybody. Everybody ready for a Long Island iced tea? All right, as you can see, I've got my 6 ingredients here ready to go, all pre-poured. We're going to make what I call a Long Island iced tea light. What I mean by light is I'm only using a ½ ounce of each ingredient instead of a 3/4 ounce or a full ounce, depending on how strong you like your Long Island iced tea. Also, if I'm what? I don't know. I guess that's it. Let's get started, shall we? I've already got my ice in my shaker, and oh, I know. This goes with a splash of Coke, or for you Pepsi people, you can do a splash of Pepsi. When you're shaking your cocktails, do not shake them with your carbonated drink in there, or you will have another surprise, which I am not going to show you. I have not done that because I know better. All right, let's get started. Enough of me yabbering. First thing we're going to do is vodka. Like I said, we're just doing a light version, ½ ounce of each thing. White rum. Next, we're going to hit that with a little bit of gin. A little bit of tequila. Now, some people use triple sec. I like orange liqueur, so we're going to use orange liqueur. But triple sec orange liqueur is basically the same. And a little sweet and sour. Alrighty, those are our 6 ingredients. Got those in the shaker. Now let's do a little shake it, shall we? Alright, I think that'll do it. You can do it one or two ways. You can pour the liquor in and then add the ice, or put the ice in and pour the liquor in over top. That's fine. Alright, oh, I need to get ice for my pint glass. We'll be right back. Alrighty, once again, as I said, I was doing a Long Island iced tea light, so this obviously is not going to fill up my glass. Like my cubes? These are great. I got the ice cube, the ice tray at Bed Bath & Beyond. Alrighty, let's commence to pouring, shall we? Ooh, God, that smells strong even at ½ ounces. Pour that right over the ice. Oh, that happened there, fantastic. Alrighty, oh, and then let's, we're gonna do a little splash of Coke here. Alright, might have been a tad more than a splash. Oh, of course you need to see the final product. And garnish with a little lime. Drop in a little cherry. And ladies and gentlemen, there you have it. A Long Island iced tea light. How's it taste? Let me know. Looks delicious. Cheers, everybody. Man, that is delicious. I'm getting really good at this, ladies and gentlemen. Hopefully, if you guys are making any of these recipes that I'm doing, which are all been pretty common drinks so far, let me know. Let John know in the comments down below of his Vegas tips and tricks. Now, thanks for watching, everybody. Let's take it back to John. This is really good. I don't have any straws.
Another great great bit of entertainment from our friend Paul, PJ Slots and Entertainment. I appreciate him doing that. He's got a bunch more of these in the can, so if you enjoy this segment, you will definitely have an opportunity to check it out for many weeks to come. Now, we're going to talk about the elephant in the room next on the news. I've held off on discussing what I'm calling the elephant in the room for the last several weeks, but it seems like we're going to have to talk about it. And of course, that's the virus, which seems to be causing nearly universal panic, at least among some people. I will not spend any time today, or I will spend only very limited time discussing the science of all of this, because I am not a medical professional, nor a public health official, nor a virologist. I will only say that in the wake of this, continue to take the same sort of precautions that you would take, should be taking anyway, given the fact that we have a pretty serious outbreak of influenza A going on anyway. And otherwise, I would encourage you to continue to live your life. There are many things in our environment which threaten us, whether they be microorganisms or other people. It's not much of a life if you simply barricade yourself in a compound or live in a plastic bubble. So I would simply encourage you not to cancel your activities, but the reality is that things are being canceled, and that's going to impact many of you in terms of your trips to Las Vegas. Not entirely all to the negative, but certainly not something we're looking to see as we go into the main spring and summer tourist season in Las Vegas. Again, if you're traveling or thinking of traveling, at this point I see no reason to change your plans. There is now a confirmed case in Las Vegas proper. We don't know how many people may have been exposed. He may have exposed. But the reality is that in your own community there may be people who have been exposed and who may have exposed you, and you simply don't know it yet. So, regardless of whatever travel restrictions or, cancellations, people in this country move around very freely. And so inevitably there are going to be cases that are going to pop up in your community and around your area. And I don't think that Las Vegas will be any different. Obviously, anytime you get a large number of people together in a fairly confined area, the risk of transmission is larger. But most of us work for large companies. We are walking down the streets of busy major cities. We're continuing to come in contact with crowds of people regardless. So again, precautions, the same precautions you should be taking anyway, washing your hands thoroughly with hot water and soap, not touching your mouth or nose, and just being careful with the things you come in contact with. There's only so much masks and hand sanitizers, and you don't need a freaking pallet of water in your basement, okay? In my opinion, this thing is probably going to blow over, as so many others of these things have. At least that's certainly my hope. But it is going to impact your travel to Las Vegas, and in some cases it may impact it positively. With demand softening, and it is, we've seen some conventions and meetings already canceled, and clearly there is not as much desire amongst the general public to travel, period, or to travel to Las Vegas. I have noted in checking out both airfares and hotels that prices seem to have dropped. It's reasonable to think that if demand is reduced for seats in popular restaurants or chairs to popular shows, that you might see price reductions there or incentives coming in. So you've been thinking about a trip to Las Vegas, it might be a good time to take a look and see. And you may be able to get things cheaper than you would have otherwise. I know last night I did log in on the Caesars website and checked out room rates, and they had dropped some for the dates that I had been looking at, and an additional hotel was now comped. I have heard anecdotal evidence that that continues to be other people's experience, so definitely check it out. The problem, of course, with softening demand is that eventually it could lead to reduced supply. Restaurants that frequently are running on a tight margin may close, putting people out of work, which would be out of business. You might see a reduction in the number of flights to Las Vegas. It is possible, of course, that some flights could be canceled, either because of the airlines themselves or because of travel restrictions put in place by government agencies. Any of those things could happen, and those things obviously could impact us negatively. Initially, of course, if you have if I'm selling a tuna fish in the can and I don't sell it today, I can sell it tomorrow or 6 weeks from now. I can't sell a hotel room tonight and save it for when I need it. It's a perishable resource of sorts. So initially, of course, you get them cheaper, but at some point you could see a reduction in the supply, which is going to be a negative for all of us. And I alluded to the fact that the government may get involved, which usually never ends well. I always say if you want to if there's one thing that you can learn from a zombie movie, it's that the government never really helps out very much. It never works. So, there could be moves to restrict travel or restrict access to, major sporting events, concerts, whatever. Hopefully that's not the case, but you'll definitely want to keep your eyes open. So again, take precautions, look for opportunities, because this is going to produce some opportunities in terms of cost savings, but be prepared for possible issues. I think so far, and I hope this is the case, I think so far the sort of reaction to this virus has been much worse and has caused much more disruption and harm than the virus itself. So anyway, I didn't want to talk about this because it's not a fun topic, but I thought it needed to be discussed briefly today. What are your thoughts? Is it going to affect your travel plans? Please hit me up in the comments below. Let me know what you think. Now, time for a somewhat related Vegas tip. Okay, our Vegas tip of the week is directly related to the softening demand for both air flights and hotel rooms. If you've booked a room or a flight to Las Vegas, particularly if you've booked it directly with the airline or the hotel, which I always recommend that you do, you may want to revisit that flight information. Just a few hours ago, I checked and was able to save $86 on my flight in April/May. Now that's on Southwest, and so they don't charge a change fee. That simply goes in as a travel credit, which could potentially pay for one leg of a flight later in the year. Same thing with hotels. If you book directly, check again. The rates may have dropped. You should be able to cancel and rebook, or possibly just simply rebook through a reservation agent or online. That's all money that goes back into future trips or entertainment, food, or gambling. So that's going to be our tip of the week. Speaking of hotels, of course, we always do our hotel resort of the week, and it's coming up now. This week's featured hotel casino resort is really the first modern resort built on the Strip, and I'm speaking, of course, of the Mirage. The idea of Mr. Steve Wynn, who somehow put together the financing for what was at the time a ridiculously expensive project and made it work. And still, if you drive by the Mirage or walk by the Mirage, you can't help but be impressed by how beautiful it is. It may have the best landscaping of any place in Las Vegas, even to this day. And of course, when you walk inside to the beautiful atrium area, the registration desk, and of course out front the iconic Mirage volcano, you can't help but be impressed. And Mirage is now over 30 years old, and it's holding up very well. There have been several room renovations done. I will point out that one thing about the property, one thing about the rooms at the property, is that the entry-level rooms, the bathrooms are still pretty small. Back in the late 1980s, we hadn't gotten into this sort of fetish where we have bathrooms so large you could, do gymnastics in them. So it's a fairly small bathroom. You might want to upgrade from the base room if you can. Speaking of which, the Mirage, along with many other M-Life properties, frequently has some very good deals on suites, and the suites here are really nice. So, particularly if you're looking at a special occasion, it's an opportunity to stay at the Mirage. And if you haven't been to Vegas in a while, you might have thought the last time you were there, boy, it'd be nice if I could afford to stay at the Mirage. Well, you probably can now. With so many other properties that have come online in the past couple of decades, the Mirage has become sort of a moderately priced property. That being said, most elements of the property are still above average. It's got a really nice pool. It's Mark Anderson's favorite pool. It's got to be nice, right? Above average sports book, a nice selection of restaurants, an excellent entertainment lineup that they've had for years and years. If you go back to the time of the late Danny Gans and of course Siegfried and Roy, Mirage has always been famous for its entertainment. And for many years now, the Beatles' Love Show, a Cirque du Soleil offering, which continues to get solid reviews and bring in the crowds as it has for well over a decade now. The Terry Fader show here had been very popular, but that's actually going away. I think it may have already gone away, but if not, will very, very soon. They typically have a sort of cast of comedians that rotate through this show there from time to time. So, sort of on the weekends you might see David Spade or Ron White or something like that. So, definitely worth checking out. They do have some big name entertainment as well. The nightclub scene here is a little bit uncertain. For years they had the One Oak or 10AK nightclub, which also occasionally hosts small concerts. But they've announced that that is closing, so what that nightclub space is going to become, I have not heard yet. The casino, nice sports book, I think. It's, again, an above average place. They have a nice selection of bars within the casino, and the rum bar is also kind of a cool indoor, outdoor, mostly outdoor lounge, which is a great place to just hang out and have a drink, particularly when it's a nice sunny day in Las Vegas. So. Mentioned the restaurants, there's the Tom Colicchio's steak. That gets pretty good marks. The buffet, I would say, still generally considered above average cravings. There's a lot of sort of fast, casual kinds of places here, although the Carnegie Deli is shutting down or may have already shut down. But you have, like Diablo's Cantina, California Pizza Kitchen, sort of a step above fast food, but not terribly formal places. The casino itself, I find, again, a little too old school. Feels a little cramped. It's not, the ceilings are not as high as we've come to enjoy. I've had pretty good success in the casino, but that's all anecdotal, as is the fact that I haven't had the greatest of drink service there. So your mileage may vary. The Mirage is one of those properties that tends to have a very loyal following. I would say another place like that is Harrah's across the street that we talked of. There are people that stay here all the time because they've been staying here for years, and they're just comfortable there. They love the property, and they get well taken care of by the Players Club or by their hosts. So definitely worth checking out the Mirage. It's a good location. I don't think it's a great location. It's a little further north than I would personally prefer to be. Of course, you can hop on that little amusement park train that they take you over to Treasure Island, and you should, because that's a long walk otherwise, longer than you think it is. And that gets you into the Wynn, Venetian neighborhood. You can walk over into the Forum shops very easily. And of course, you can cross the street over to Harrah's Casino Royale and that whole run of Caesars properties there that's very foot-friendly. But if you haven't been in the Mirage for years, or if you haven't thought about staying at the Mirage for years, it's still definitely a winning property and a good value. So check it out, see what you think. If you've stayed at the Mirage, tell me what you think of it. Okay, we're going to wrap up this hard-hitting episode of Vegas Tips and Tricks. We will be dark this Wednesday. I'm not going to have a live stream. We will do another one here in a few more weeks, but we will be back again next Saturday with another new show. Until then, I hope that you have a great and lucky week. We will. See you soon.